Hi, this is Akshasura from Konobos. Today we'll be looking at the content interface in general. So, what I mean by that is we just created, based on the video series we are part of, we just created content types of press release and a contact. Using the content UI is super simple. So if you look at it, go to the content and assets section. Depending on how your things are set up, you could filter things accordingly. So if I was to say, all right, I want all press releases, in our case, there aren't any. But if I were to select, all coffees, I would get that. If you want to do it based on all published coffees, you could do that. So if you have a lot of content inside of your instance, it is super easy. We've had thousands, tens of thousands of items, and the search itself is super simple as well. So all you would need to do is just search for a piece of content if you wouldn't want to use any of these filters. In our case, what we are going to do is we're going to create a new press release. So I'm going to hit create new. It'll ask me what type it is. I'm going to select a press release, go ahead, and then I am going to, this is just a content item. So content item name is very useful in terms of, when you just imagine if you have a few 100,000 items in your system and the title itself might not be so evident. So what we usually do is the type itself is what we mentioned. So press release, new coffee release, and then the actual new, say, so you could mention that. So it's easier for you to find all the items of type, press releases. You can see our guideline is right here, the one we specified in the content type. You could also see that the guideline for the field over here, it is a required field. It already is telling you it's required with an orange circle. I specified the title. This could be the content. So content itself, you could specify quite a few things in the rich text editor. In our case, I am just going to copy some lorem ipsum from somewhere, paste it in here. But as you are doing things, you do notice that, it might not have a toolbar for things, but you could easily use all the right tools. So if I want to bold this, highlight that, bold, you could italicize it. You could do pretty much quite a few things in the rich text editor. I would say though is compared to a web CMS, the headless CMSs don't naturally have quite a few of these things you could do in a rich text editor in a web CMS. Simply put, because the amount of customizability available in a web CMS, it's truly not how the headless CMSs look at things. So headless CMSs look for content which can be used in multiple channels, not just web, which means that anything you do in here, when it's consumed via the API, it needs to be usable by mobile, it needs to be usable by other systems. So if it is too specific to the web, it's not usable as much. And in this case, if I go ahead and add a new create a new contact, I don't have a contact already. And that's where the UI comes into place. And each headless CMS does it a little bit differently. I kind of like the way content does it. So I just hit create new contact. So contact, you could specify. And then now I have the contact. And if I go back here, you can see the linked item specifying that the link I have with the contact I've created. Now, based on what you're doing, you might need it in a published state or assign it to another contributor, or you could add a task for someone else to say, hey, this needs to be done, add a note. You could do quite a few things, and it can get quite complicated, but all I can say is as you're using the system, it gets very easy, and you see it yourself. It barely took us a minute to create a content item, create a linked content, absolutely something which is new. Now, if I go to adding an existing, we've already selected this, but you could see that an existing item shows up. Everything is super simple, super smooth. Using content is just lovely, and we will be looking at several other pieces as and when we are doing the newer videos, because each of this involves a little bit more work and a little bit more knowledge. So we are going to share it in tidbits, so hopefully it's useful. Thanks again. I hope this was really useful.